Well, for your first question, do you think that the justice system in today's society for the UK, do you think it's fair, especially in terms of like handing sentences out for hard crimes?
I'm guessing you mean things like murdering and like rapists and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, the life sentence in England is it 20 years?
It is 20, but it can be they tend to cut it down, don't they? Like,
yeah, I don't think it's fair at all because obviously, like comparing it to America, it's like a life sentence is a life sentence in America. But obviously, like crime's a lot worse over there and things like that. But I don't think people should get off easy just because they live in England for like killing somebody or
yeah.
raping somebody else.
So, saying about America, how they have the life sentences and the death penalty. Do you think we should do something here in the UK to, enforce similar rules like that?
You mean like the death sentence?
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think they should. I know a lot of people think that there should be a death sentence because obviously they should just get them out of the way. But I personally think it's probably better if they just keep them in jail for pretty much the rest of their life because then they're just sat in a box for the rest of their life. Just thinking about what they've done their entire life, and it's just going to torment them pretty much.
Alright, but saying that, especially in the UK, I'm not sure about America because obviously we haven't seen in prisons there, but in the UK, prisoners actually get a lot of benefits when they go into jail. Like they get TVs and they get leisure, like gyms and things like that, and hot meals. So you're saying for them to spend life in prison and they get all them benefits, wouldn't they be better off for, in their mind? To be like that.
I think if they did actually get those benefits while they were in prison, I think honestly it'd be a better life than what they would have outside. So if they did enforce the death penalty, then yeah, I think death penalty should be put that way. But if they got rid of all those benefits and there was no way for any like extra things, like obviously if like people are working together to like kill people and then only one of them get caught, usually they give them like TV and things like that if they rat out their friend basically. And I'm not sure if I think that's fair or not, whether they should have those things, but I can definitely see why you'd want to add the death penalty because obviously you should just get rid of them so you don't have to spend any more money on.
Yeah, because a lot of people argue that when it comes to serious crimes like murders and rapes and things like that, people argue that there should be, as the term goes, an eye for an eye.
Yeah, so if they're killed, then they should be killed and such and so.
Okay, going back to comparison between America and here. In America, a lot of patrol officers, police enforcement, things like that, are actually allowed to carry firearms. That's the word, firearms, in order to protect themselves from criminals, and they're actually allowed to shoot on sight. Whereas in the UK, I don't believe officers are even allowed to carry guns around with them, or any weapons. I don't think.
I think in like local police stations and things like that, I think they're allowed to have guns there, but they're not allowed to have guns on them. Obviously, like they use tasers and like pepper spray and things like that. So there's so it's like non-lethal force basically. And obviously that's the thing with America, like they're allowed to have guns, like everybody like has their, I think it's the First Amendment or something like that, where everybody has a right to have their own gun. And I don't think that should be right over in America. Obviously, like I don't think anybody should have guns. And
because obviously, like in the UK, you can buy guns, but you've got to have a license and you've got to be checked over, and you've got to have a specific reason for them. Whereas in America, anybody can just go and buy one. Also, adding to that, do you think then that if a similar law was enforced in England and people were allowed to buy guns and law enforcement could actually walk around with guns and serious weapons, would that make it worse for England or would that make it better? Would it lower the crime rate, do you think?
What you mean if the officers had guns and like nobody else did in England?
Let's look at it both ways. Let's look at it with only law enforcement with guns, and let's have a look at everybody.
Well, obviously, if the law enforcers had guns, then obviously people may be more hesitant to commit a crime because they think they're going to get shot or die or something, which obviously if they just went out and stole something now, the worst they're going to get is tased or pepper sprayed or something like that. But I think if everybody could have guns, then that's like a lot worse, just because like any like unstable person, like mentally unstable person, could just buy a gun and just like, I mean, you've already seen what it's like in America. Like people just go to like Walmart and just buy a gun, and then like all these school shootings and things like that.
Saying that though, that it's worse, because we'd be saying that it is a lot worse in America with everybody having guns, but their actual punishments for crimes is a lot more serious than ours. So don't you think that helps? Because obviously they have got the death penalty, they have got life sentences. They don't necessarily have to have minimal time and things like that. Don't you think that makes it better for them over there?
What, that they've got like everybody's got guns and they have worse
because
punishment?
Like we don't have in my opinion harsh enough punishments, but we also have limits. So we're not allowed to walk around with weapons, and we're not allowed to do certain things that in America that they can, but their punishments are a lot harsher. So don't you think that it kind of levels it out?
Yeah, because obviously there's going to be less crime in England compared to America, because obviously there's no guns, so the crime's going to be a lot less timid. But obviously, like the life sentence is 1/5 in England of what it is in America, which I don't agree with that. I think it should be just as long, because obviously they're committing the same crime. Just because it's in a different country doesn't mean, like, they're just put kind of opposites of one another, England and America, because obviously there's like barely any crime in England, but obviously if everybody had guns in England there'd be more crime and there'd be harsher punishments probably if everybody did have guns, which I don't think that's going to happen. So yeah.
Alright, thank you Daryl for joining me this morning. You've given me some very interesting answers there. That's all from me today. Thank you and goodbye.